Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are doing something a little bit different today. We are taking over the feed for a special edition of The Owner Investor. And honestly, looking at the research stack we have for today, I think this might be one of the most valuable, maybe 20 or 30 minutes of audio we have ever put together.
I agree. It feels different.
It does. Usually we were talking about market trends or, asset allocation, but today feels surgical.
Surgical is the perfect word for it. We aren't just exploring a concept or a theory today. We are essentially delivering what amounts to a $10,000 workshop in, the span of a single deep dive.
Exactly. We're looking at a tactical masterclass called the 10 Decision Exercise. And before we even get into the mechanics of it, we need to start with the brutal truth.
Right.
The hook here is something that I think every single business owner listening is going to feel in their bones. It's the concept of decision fatigue, but not in the way people usually talk about it.
No, you're right. Usually people talk about decision fatigue like it's just being tired at the end of the day. I don't know what to eat for dinner.
Yeah.
But in a business context, specifically for an owner-operator, it is so much more dangerous. It's the reality of drowning in decision.
Drowning. And it's not that owners are making bad decisions.
Yeah.
That's usually not the core problem.
No, not at all. Usually the decisions are fine. The problem is that they're making all of them.
None of them.
The research shows the average business owner makes over 100 distinct business decisions a day.
100, wow.
Now, if you are making 100 decisions, how much real deep thinking time can you possibly give to the 3 or 4 that actually determine if the company survives the next 5 years?
Almost none. You're just reacting. You're not thinking.
No.
You're playing whack-a-mole all day long.
Exactly. And here is the kicker from the source material. 70 to 80% of those decisions should never even touch their desk in the first place.
70 to 80%. I mean, just think about the mental load of that. It's a bottleneck.
A massive one.
It caps your growth. It absolutely destroys any semblance of work-life balance. And as we are going to see later, it completely tanks your exit multiples when you try to sell.
It does. And that is why the mission for this deep dive is so specific. We want to hand you a solution. This isn't theoretical.
Okay.
The framework we are unpacking today, the 10 decision exercise, comes from some incredibly heavy hitters. We are talking about a business operator who has, get this, 37 exits.
37.
And $4.5 billion in total exit value.
$4.5 billion. I mean, that is serious credibility. When someone with 37 exits tells you how to clear your plate, you probably ought to listen.
You listen. And we are also pulling insights from a former COO of an Inc., 500 company and advisors who've coached thousands of owners and saved nearly $100 million in wasted operational costs. So this is battle-tested.
It's a proven system.
It is. The promise here is simple. By the end of this conversation, you will have a simple, repeatable exercise you can complete in 30 minutes.
And the whole objective is to shift the business from what they call level 2, which is completely owner-dependent, to level 3, which is system-driven.
And that shift is everything. It's about the key phrase for this whole episode, which is think like an investor, not an operator.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Why are we so bad at delegating? I mean, everyone knows they should delegate. It's not a secret. But why does it almost always fail?
It fails because we usually fall into what the source material calls the organized chaos trap.
Organized chaos. I love that term.
It's perfect, right? We confuse abdication with delegation.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, think about the 3 ways owners typically try and fail to delegate. These are the common mistakes. The first one is the just bring me the problem approach.
Oh, I know this one.
Right. You tell your team, my door's always open. If you're stuck, come to me.
Which sounds helpful. It sounds like you're being the hero. You are being the supportive boss.
Exactly. But what does it actually do? It creates dependency. You are still the brain of the operation. The team stops thinking because they know you'll just solve it for them.
So you're training them to be helpless.
You're training them to bring you problems, not solutions.
Okay, so that's trap number 1. You become the crutch. What's number 2?
Trap number 2 is you handle it, but check with me first.
The classic bottleneck.
The ultimate bottleneck. Everything waits for your approval. You become the traffic light that is always stuck on red. Nothing moves until you say go.
And that's even worse in some ways.
It's much worse than doing it yourself because now you have to review someone else's work and make the decision. It slows everything down to the speed of you, the owner.
Okay. And the third one?
The third one is the Hail Mary. It's do what you think is best, but you give them absolutely no guardrails.
And that is where the chaos part of organized chaos comes in.
Right. Because without boundaries, without context, the team is just guessing. And when they guess wrong, which they inevitably will because they don't have your 20 years of
What
experience,
else guess wrong?
the owner swoops back in, takes the control back, and says, see, I knew it. I have to do it myself. Nobody else can do this.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You set them up to fail just to prove how indispensable you are.
It is. And there's a quote here that sums this up perfectly. Delegation without parameters is organized chaos.
Parameters. That word is going to come up a lot, I think.
It's the core insight. Real delegation isn't just saying you do it. Real delegation requires 3 components working together. You need decision-making authority, you need clear parameters, and you need accountability. You need the whole triad.
So if your team is bringing you 50 questions a day, it's not because your team is incompetent or lazy.
No, not at all. As the source says, you don't have a team problem, you have a system problem. And that is what the 10 decision exercise is designed to fix. It fixes the system.
Okay, let's get into the meat of this. The 10 decision exercise. This is this framework. It's designed to be done in 30 minutes. Step 1 seems deceptively simple, the audit.
It is simple, but you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Step 1 is to just write down the last 10 business decisions that came to you in the past week.
And we mean real decisions, right? Not just the big strategic stuff.
No. We are looking for the granular stuff that actually eats your day. Things like, should we waive this $100 late fee for a client? Should we hire this candidate for the junior marketing role? Can we approve this vendor invoice? Can we offer a 5% discount to close this deal?
What color should the new banner ad be?
Exactly. Those are the things that clog up your inbox in your brain.
Okay, so I've got my list. I'm looking at these 10 things that stole my attention this week. What is step 2?
Step 2 is the categorization. You're going to take those 10 decisions and sort them into 3 very specific buckets. And this categorization is where the magic really starts to happen.
All right, break down the buckets for us. Bucket number 1.
Bucket 1 is for decisions you make and only you. These are the non-negotiables.
So the owner isn't firing themselves completely. You still have a job.
Not at all. But the criteria here are really strict. Bucket 1 is for truly strategic decisions that affect the long-term direction of the company.
Like a pivot or an acquisition.
Exactly. Or high-risk decisions where a mistake could be catastrophic. We are talking bet the company kind of risks. Or high-value decisions that are above a specific dollar threshold that you set.
Okay, so if we are deciding whether to, pivot the entire product line or spend $1 million on a new building, that's bucket 1.
That's bucket 1. You keep those. That is your job as the owner.
Got it. Bucket 2.
Bucket 2 is decisions you make, but with options.
Okay, this sounds like a middle ground. What does that mean?
It is. This is for moderate risk or moderate value issues. The key here is the process. The team does all the legwork. They don't come to you asking, what should I do?
That question is banned.
That question is forbidden in bucket 2. They must come to you saying, here are 3 researched options, here are the pros and cons of each, and here is my recommendation.
I love that distinction. You aren't the thinker anymore. You were just the tiebreaker.
Correct. You are the final stamp of approval, but you didn't spend the 3 hours researching the vendors. You spent 3 minutes reviewing their completed work.
Which frees up so much mental energy.
Immense.
And finally, bucket 3. This is the holy grail, isn't it?
This is the goal. Bucket 3 is decisions the team makes with guardrails.
And the key part is with guardrails.
Always with guardrails. These are low-risk, repeatable decisions. The goal for bucket 3 is that the owner only hears about them if something goes catastrophically wrong. Otherwise, silence is golden.
Okay, so we have our list, and we have sorted the 10 decisions into these 3 buckets. But we established earlier that just telling people you decide creates chaos. So step 3 has to be the solution to that.
Step 3 is defining parameters. And the source material is so emphatic about this. The quote is, the magic isn't in the decisions themselves, it's in the parameters.
This is the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Let's deep dive into what a real parameter actually looks like. Because use your best judgment is not a parameter.
No, that's a platitude. It's totally useless. A parameter is a hard rule. It's a clear, objective test. Let's look at bucket 1, the stuff you keep. You need to define what strategic actually means. You need to define the exact dollar threshold.
So not just big expenses.
No, it's any unbudgeted spend over $50,000 comes to me, period.
It's black and white. There's no guessing. $49,000. Don't ask me. $51,000. It has to come to me.
Exactly. Now, look at bucket 2, where they bring you options. You have to define the presentation format. You might say, if you want me to approve a new marketing vendor, you must bring me 3 quotes with a projected ROI for each, and it needs to be in my inbox 48 hours before the decision deadline.
That's brilliant, because it completely stops the, hey, do you have a sec? Interruptions. If they don't have the 3 quotes in the ROI projection, they know they can't even approach you yet.
It forces completed staff work. They have to come prepared.
It respects your time?
Precisely. And then bucket 3, the decisions they make on their own. You have to define the boundaries and the non-negotiables. For example, the sales team has pre-approval for discounts up to 10%. You don't need to ask me. But you can never, ever waive our standard payment terms without finance approval.
That is so clear. It completely changes the dynamic in the company. Instead of constantly asking, can I? The team starts executing based on, here is how we decide.
It shifts the entire culture from permission-seeking to proto-following, which is what scales.
I want to make this really concrete for the listeners. We have some incredible examples from the source material, real stories from the workshop, that show how this plays out in different industries. Let's start with the banking example. This is the $200 rule.
This is a great one, super simple. So the problem was a common one. A customer comes into a bank branch and disputes an overdraft fee. Let's say it's $150.
Okay, so in a level 2 business, the old owner-dependent way, what happens?
The branch manager gets the complaint. They don't have the authority to fix it, so they have to escalate it to the owner or the regional VP.
Ugh.
That person has to stop what they're doing, pull up the customer's account history, review it, and then make a decision. Meanwhile, the customer is waiting, getting more and more frustrated.
And the process takes days, and the owner is wasting valuable brain power on $150.
Exactly. So they applied this framework. They looked at bucket 3 and set a parameter. The new rule became, any fee under $200 can be waived by the branch manager. IF, the customer has 6+ months of tenure and no other disputes in the last 6 months.
It's just simple Boolean logic. If A and D are true, then...
Yes, the result. The decision is now made in 5 minutes, right there at the counter. The customer is happy immediately. And the owner went from handling 20 of these disputes a week to 0.
0. That is 20 interruptions just deleted from their week. That's incredible.
And the risk is capped. The owner knows the absolute most they can lose on any single bad decision is $200. That is a cheap, cheap price to pay for your freedom.
It really is. Okay, let's look at the marketing agency example. This one is going to resonate with anyone who works in client services. Scope creep. It's the silent killer.
Oh, absolutely. The problem is a tale as old as time. A client requests a change mid-project. Hey, can we just add this one little thing?
And before the parameters are in place, the account manager is terrified to say yes or no. So they just email the owner.
Right, and the owner has to stop, review the project budget, check the timeline, maybe get on a call to negotiate. The client waits. It's all slow, painful friction.
So how did they fix it with the 10 decision exercise?
They set a parameter based on hours. The rule was, scope changes under 5 hours of work can be absorbed into the project if the project is currently under budget. However, if it's over 5 hours, you must present the client with 3 options. Pay extra, reduce other deliverables, or extend the timeline.
I love that. It gives the account manager a script. They don't have to be the bad guy. They're just following the company process.
And the result was massive. The owner was freed from 10+ hours of negotiation per week. They just got a monthly summary report. 3 scope changes happened. 2 were charged for. 1 was absorbed. All projects remained profitable.
That's the dream. You check the scoreboard. You don't have to play every single down.
Right.
Okay, one more. The professional services firm. Hiring. This is a huge bottleneck for so many growing companies.
It really is. The scenario here was hiring a candidate at, say, an $80,000 salary. Before the fix, the owner was interviewing every single candidate for every role and making the final call.
And hiring took how long?
6 to 8 weeks.
Which means you lose all the best candidates. They're gone.
They're long gone. Exactly. So they set a simple threshold parameter. Department heads can hire anyone for a role with a salary under $75,000. With final approval from HR. For any role over $75,000, bring the top 3 finalists to me, along with a salary justification.
So the owner still keeps control of the high-stakes hires. That's bucket 1. But they let go of the rest.
And the result was that their hiring speed doubled. The owner's time spent in interviews was cut by 60%.
These examples really just hammer home that key phrase. The magic isn't in the decisions themselves, it's in the parameters. But I want to pivot to something that feels equally important. We talk a lot about how this helps the owner, but what about the team?
That is a critical question, and it's often the biggest fear for owners. They worry, will my team feel like I'm just dumping work on them, or will they feel abandoned if I'm not involved?
Right. Am I just making them do my job?
But the data and the anecdotes from the workshop show the complete opposite. Completely the opposite. There was a participant in the workshop, an employee, who shared this light switch moment. They said, before this, I was terrified to make decisions. I was always worried I'd get it wrong. After he shared the parameters, it was like a light switch.
It changes the entire psychology.
It does. It moves them from a state of fear to one of confidence. They feel I have permission. It moves them from confusion to clarity. I know what's expected of me. And it moves them from being just a task doer to an owner. I own the outcome of this decision.
There's a great analogy in the research here. The thermostat.
Yes. Set the thermostat, don't adjust the temperature.
Unpack that for us, because that's a powerful idea.
At level 2, the owner-dependent level, the owner is constantly adjusting the temperature. They walk into a room, they feel it's too cold, and they crank up the dial. They're reacting to every individual fluctuation.
It'd be the thermostat.
They are the thermostat. At level 3, the owner sets the thermostat. They say, I want this room to be kept between 68 and 72 degrees. And then they walk away and let the system regulate itself. The parameters are the thermostat settings.
That is such a powerful visual. You aren't micromanaging the climate. You are setting the system that manages it.
Exactly. You're the architect, not the handyman.
Okay, so the listeners are bought in. They understand the why and the what. Now we need the how. Let's go through the implementation protocol. This is the 30-minute playbook.
And we really do mean 30 minutes. You can do this today right after you finish listening.
So step 1, self-work. That's the first 10 minutes.
Right. You list the last 10 decisions that hit your desk. You categorize them into the 3 buckets. And you look for patterns. What keeps slipping through that really shouldn't?
Okay, 10 minutes. Then step 2, define parameters. The next 10 minutes.
This is the most important part. You write the rules of the game for each bucket. You have to be specific with dollars, with dates, with risk. And here is the guiding question to ask yourself. What would a buyer of my company need to know to make this decision without me?
Ooh, that's good. That forces you to externalize your intuition, your gut feel.
Exactly. It forces you to turn your intuition into a process.
And finally, step 3, the team meeting. The last 10 minutes.
You schedule a quick 30-minute meeting to share the buckets, but, and this is a crucial piece of advice from that operator with the 37 exits, don't just hand over the rules. Don't just email a document. You have to explain the WHY.
Now, I can just hear the objections popping up in people's heads. The big one, what if they make the wrong decision?
It's going to happen.
It will happen.
So what do? The answer is, then you fix the parameter, not the person.
Yeah.
A bad call that happened within the established guardrails is the owner's fault for setting the wrong boundary.
So you don't blame the player. You adjust the rules of the game.
Exactly. You say, okay, that rule is too loose. Let's tighten it.
What about the other big fear? What if I lose control?
This is where you have to use that key phrase. Control is an illusion. Systems create scalability. You are gaining leverage, not losing control. You are trading micromanagement for strategic oversight.
And you can still audit, right? You're not just flying blind.
Of course. You use monthly dashboards to review bucket 3 decisions. You audit, you don't approve. You look at the results after the fact, spot trends, and adjust the parameters as needed.
Okay. Now let's talk about the exit value impact, the financial ROI, because this is the owner-investor after all.
This is where it gets staggering. We are talking about the valuation gap. Let's contrast 2 scenarios for a business that's doing $2 million in EBITDA.
Okay, a solid, successful business, scenario A.
Scenario A is the level 2 business. The owner makes all the decisions. A buyer comes in and sees massive dependency. The whole business is built on one person's brain.
Which is incredibly risky for a buyer.
Hugely risky. So they'll offer a lower valuation, maybe a 3-4x multiple. That's a $6 to $8 million exit. And probably half of that will be tied up in an earnout.
To make sure you stick around.
To make sure they can extract the knowledge from your head.
Ouch. Okay. Scenario B.
Scenario B is the level 3 business. Same $2 million in EBITDA. But the team decides via parameters. The buyer sees transferable systems. They see a machine that runs itself.
So the risk is much lower.
Much lower. So the valuation is higher. Maybe a 6-8x multiple. That's a $12 to $16 million exit.
Wait, hold on. The bottom line here, is that one 30-minute exercise, when implemented, can create a $4 to $8 million difference in exit value.
That's the math. Because buyers trust the system, not just the owner.
That's a powerful, powerful statement.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Investors pay for transferability. If the business runs on the owner's brain, it's not transferable.
We are hitting the end here. For the people listening who are ready to go, what are some advanced moves?
Repeat the exercise monthly as the business grows and changes. Push it down the org chart. Have your department heads do the exercise for their teams.
Create systems within systems.
Exactly. Start tracking a metric called decision velocity. The goal should be that 80% of decisions in the company are made in less than 24 hours. And your target metric should be to move from making 100 tactical decisions a week to making 10 truly strategic decisions per quarter.
Imagine that headspace. Okay, the final challenge.
Do not wait. I can't stress this enough. Every single day you wait is another day you are trapped in level 2, actively suppressing the value of your own company.
So here's the instruction. Pause the episode. As soon as you can, open a document. Write down the 10 decisions, define the parameters, and schedule that meeting to share it with your team today.
Start being the architect of the system, not just the busiest person in it.
This is what we're all about here. The Owner Investor Podcast equals frameworks you can implement immediately. Go build your system. The difference between that $6 million and that $16 million exit lies right here in building systems that make decisions. We'll see you next time.